What's up, Pete? Be Smooth back in the building. I'm gonna break something to y'all real quick. You've already read the title. I'm gonna talk about hypermasculinity. To be exact, dealing with hypermasculinity. And I'm gonna be speaking from a black male's perspective. Alright? Just in case some of y'all probably don't really understand where it comes from and what it is. Alright, let's hop into it. So let's just break something down. Let's break down hyper and masculinity. All right, hyper is a subject. It means when it's overly excessive or over the top. And the term masculinity is the subject, which is you or somebody else, showing masculine traits such as domination, such as strength, such as protection, such as non-goofiness. The list goes on and on and on. All right? And now that we got that situated, hopefully you now know what that term means. And where does it come from? All right. Hypermasculinity is predominantly in the black communities, such as the inner cities, the big inner cities, just like Baltimore and Maryland, Chicago, Illinois, Detroit, Michigan, LA, some parts in LA like South Central, some parts of Oakland. The list goes on and on. Mainly in the big cities in states. So almost every single state where there are a lot of mixtures of different ethnic groups like blacks, Mexicans, that's when it's usually in those kind of environments. All right? And get this, y'all. I'm going to debunk some myths from the top of my head about dealing with hypermasculinity and why you should not use that out in the public. All right. Myth number one, y'all. Myth number one. First and foremost, strength. So listen. I'm a believer in balance with everything that I do. When I take a Duke, I'm a believer in balance. Me having to take a shit 3 times a day, that's probably too much for you. But to me, that means that my intestines are working. But let's just get serious. When I cook, when I eat, I don't want to eat super healthy. Because I feel like if I do that, then my body will be thrown off guard if I do eat some fast food. So I want to balance it out. So let's reflect that back from hypermasculinity. You can be the perception that you give off, hypothetically saying that you, the viewer, is watching this. If you want to give off that perception that you this macho person, never smiling, you always serious for strength because you're trying to show that strength, just understand that you are going to have people looking at you like you are either crazy, a serial killer, or somebody who is not to be messed with. Especially if somebody's trying to have some fun with you, you may take it so seriously that you might try to do something. You might try to hurt them. You might even try to kill them. That's what people may think about you. Therefore, people may avoid you. That's your disadvantage. But in the black communities, I'm going to educate y'all if you don't already know this. All right? I've been to poorer, lower-ended black communities in my life. So that's a defense mechanism. Did y'all get that? That hypermasculinity is a defense mechanism. Because listen, it's literally almost life or death when you out in the streets. So people put on this demeanor, this defense mechanism that, listen, you don't mess with me. If you mess with me, you think I'm playing. For real. I might shank you. Boop, boop, boop. For real. People operate that way. All right? And that's where the stereotypes of, because I'm speaking from a black male's perspective, that's the stereotype from other people that's given upon us that We are thugs. We are anything that you can think of. Robbers, we're killers and all that. All right? When you grow up in an environment like that, you almost have to put on that defense mechanism, or you're going to have people fuck with you. Seriously. So that's number one, y'all. And on top of that, you could be strong mentally and physically all you want if you're not in those areas. But if you don't know, well, wait, let me rephrase that. You could be strong. You could feel like you're strong, and you could be strong physically. But if you let people walk all over you, and if you let people talk to you in any kind of way without checking them, all this wouldn't mean a hell of beans. It's just like saying that you can eat all you want. All right? You can eat all the food you want, but if you gain a lot of weight, wait. No, that's a bad example. You pretty much get what I'm saying. All right? So listen, you can be that way, or you can be somebody who is smiling, all that good stuff, and they could be well respected. They still will tell people not to talk to them or not to walk all over them, etc., etc. This person will give more respect than you if you are that way, because you're trying to, it's like people will think that you're trying to compensate for something if you do that. On top of that, people are going to feel like you may kill them or you may start some stuff. That's why people want to avoid you. All right? Just saying. So listen, you would be better off if you were super hyper masculine, always not showing emotions, because listen, despite what society is telling us, everybody, especially women, that if you show your emotions, you're weak. If you smile, you're weak. If you, if you're not always serious, you're weak. And I'm going to tell you something right now. If you believe in that, and if you think that society is right, and if you follow what the societal standards are about all those things, don't move. Keep your head right here, okay? Don't move. Let me hit you again so you'll really understand this. Did you change your mindset yet? That is the biggest piece of sweaty, smelly, fresh, brand new bullshit that I've ever heard in my life. That's some bull. So you mean to tell me that if I smile, that makes me weak? You mean to tell me if I lost an immediate family member, I'm not supposed to cry? If you act like that, you are headed to developing, well, not really developing, but having cardiovascular disease. So you're really going to put something that society puts on all of us, and you're going to put your health on the line for that? Get the hell out of here. I ain't with that. No. I'm going to cry if I want to cry. Now, this don't mean that you can cry about stupid shit, like if you can't afford the nicest Jordans. Now, come on now. That's just being, no. We're not with that. No. But if you have a reason to cry, it's best to cry. Let me get back on track, y'all. So with hypermasculinity, if you grow up in that environment, it's I would say it's optimal to use. But if not, just understand that people who don't really know too much about that, and that's why I'm making this video, people may avoid you, or they may discriminate you, or they may racially profile you. And you really don't even have to be black or brown. You could be any ethnic group. And yet, if you give off that perception, or in this case, deception, because you're probably not like that, and then other people are going to stereotype you and marginalize you. They're going to keep you in that small line that since they see you that way, they see you super masculine, hyper masculine, you are automatically labeled as this. Really quick, why do y'all think, oh, and also, I would say that a trait of being hyper masculine means when you look all tough, you always wear hoodies, you sag your pants. I ain't even gotta go deep into this. You already know it. You already know it. That is the biggest piece of dog doodle, dog shit, whatever you want to call it, that I've ever heard in my life. Besides the fact that if you smile and if you show your emotions, that makes you weak. That's number one. But you sagging your pants, that's the second piece of bull crap that I've ever heard in my life. But listen, the reason why I'm making this video is for y'all to understand a little bit about the black community and to also understand that balance is key to everything, y'all. If you really think that you will gain respect from being super masculine, but yet it's like you're trying to compensate, you're trying to tell people that you are strong, so don't mess with me, that's weakness right there. I would say that's kind of counterintuitive. Like, it's like you feel like you're doing this way, instead you actually gonna be this way, and this is the way that you don't want to go. That's where the balance comes into play. You see, the balance comes into play like that. You is being chill, smile. When you smile, you show people that you are a people's person, that you are a nice person, that's attractive. Who wants to be friends with somebody who's always looking like this? I don't. The initial thought that comes to my head is bad energy. That's the initial thought. So that's where the balance comes in. You can't be too masculine, and you can't be too passive and goofy, not knowing how to stand up for yourself. People can't respect this. You'll be better off being this, because at least you know how to stand up for yourself and that you don't tolerate any BS from anybody. But at the same time, you are more susceptible for having bad outcomes come your way. I'm going to tell you that right now. People stereotyping you, you being susceptible to getting into fights, and on top of that, if you pull up on the wrong person, shoot, they may think that you're trying to kill them. So they might shank you. I'm just saying. Just letting you know what can happen. So, being this way, too much, too intense. Being this way, too soft, too weak. Meet me halfway, baby. The W. You want to be right in the middle of the W's. Right here. You being a cool person, male or female. Yet, if somebody disrespects you, somebody wastes your time, you're going to let them know. And if somebody threatens you, that's when you going to be defensive. Oh no, you ain't going to threaten me. Y'all already get my point. So I hope that y'all have learned from this video about a little bit about the black community, about hypermasculinity, stereotypes, racial profiling, and all that. Alright, y'all? Comment below which video that y'all want next. I'ma holla at y'all though. In the next video, be smooth. Peace out, y'all.